Welcome, everyone, to the one and only place on the internet where you can find a Seahawks and 49ers fan having civil conversation about football. Well, mostly civil. I'm your host, and as always, I'm joined by the legendary Cornhusker himself, Marcus. So, Marcus, how we doing today?
I am doing great. It is Husker Football Eve today.
Right, that's right. Got college football back this week, and that's exciting.
It is.
I think it's just you guys in Illinois and then UCLA and Hawaii, though, I think, right? That's only two.
Yeah, there's really not many. I think there's a couple other games, but they're like lower level. Not that Nebraska is higher level or anything, but we're the two games in town tomorrow, basically.
All right. Well, it's college football anyway, so no matter who it is. The UCLA-Hawaii matchup should be fun to watch, though. I might catch some of that.
I'm hoping Chip Kelly goes down, but we'll see.
Always. Not a big Chip Kelly fan, huh?
No, he had his 1 year in San Fran, and I was not a fan.
Yeah. Don't blame me.
Yep.
All right. Well, this is the last episode for the preseason. After this, it's time for the real deal. So we'll just get through this episode, and today is not really any news really to share. I mean, it's, like I said, it's the end of preseason. Hasn't really been anything too big to share. If I'm missing anything, oh well. I'm sure it's not too much of anything. So we'll just get right into it then. Marcus, you want to start us off with the Niners? You know what you saw the last game, and if you're looking for anything in this preseason, that's the last preseason game. If you're even going to watch it.
Yes, I will watch it. And let's see here. The last game against the Chargers, I thought it went decently well. For the 49ers. They got out of it relatively unscathed injury-wise, which is my number one main concern for everything right now. I liked what I saw out of Trey Lance. He started really slow, but then got really hot, actually, and led 2 touchdown drives before he was taken out of the game. And you kind of saw some glimpses of his arm and what he's capable of, and especially red zone. I would not be surprised if we used him in the red zone this year, when even if he's not starting games, just for that run element, it's a big deal for defenses to scheme against. So.
Yeah. It seems like to me it might be something similar to back when you had Alex Smith and Colin Kaepernick. You bring in Kaepernick for certain packages. That seems like what it might be.
I could definitely see that. Yeah, definitely see that happening. And I know that Shanahan wants to do it. I just know that hopefully he's smart enough not to truly rotate quarterbacks. I can't imagine that's going to happen. I've seen some articles about that, but that's from national Deadspin type articles, I don't think there's any chance that happens. I think it's going to be a certain play package here or there that he comes in, and that's about it. But other than that, I'm going to just tout my guy, Talanoa Hufanga again. He is in line to be the starting strong safety week 1, or at least he's the betting favorite right now, and because Jaquiski Tartt is a little bit injured, and He's a guy that I targeted as basically our steal of the draft from the very beginning, and he's done nothing but even exceed my expectations. So I'm pretty happy about that. Other than that, it was more of the same. Preseason is pretty boring for the most part, if you ask me. I just watch it just to make sure we get out of it uninjured, and that basically happened. So that's all I got.
All right, well, I got a couple questions for you then. First one. So, with everything going on with Trey Lance since preseason, he's been doing pretty well. Do you think Lance takes over at any point this season, and if so, when?
I've gone back and forth on this in my mind a lot. Quite honestly, I do foresee that he will take over this season. And the thing is, I don't want it to be like we're 2-5 and he takes over, and that's the reason he's taken over. Mm-hmm. But I could see more of like a Miami situation last year where the team was winning, but it's basically on defense and running, and he just wants the offense to click a little more. So he puts in, Tua Tagovailoa, or in this case, Trey Lance. So honestly, yes, I see him taking over sometime around week 6-7, but it's ideal if Jimmy just plays all 17 games and plays well enough to stay in the game. But yeah, I could see it either way, and either way it has positives and negatives. So really, I'm just going to watch it play out, and it should be interesting.
Either way, at least if Jimmy gets injured again, at least you don't have a Mullins back there. So
yeah, we finally have a backup quarterback that I can trust and won't turn the ball over 18 times like Nick Mullins did in like 10 games last year. Yeah.
So that's at least a win there.
Yeah.
All right, so next up, I'm just going to ask who you think some stat leaders are going to be. So first, start off with receiver. I'm sure I can already assume who you're going to answer this, but who do you think the leading receiver is going to be for the Niners?
Okay, so I actually, this is kind of a tough one because I think it might be George Kittle, but if you're talking pure wide receiver.
No, and just any pass catcher.
Okay. I think it's going to be real close between Brandon Ayuk and George Kittle. I think I'm going to give them both around 1,100 each.
All right. Who gets more touchdowns?
I think we're gonna hammer George Kittle in the red zone this year like we haven't before. So I think he's definitely going to be getting more touchdowns.
All right. Then running back. If Mostert stays healthy, he could be. But with the way Shanahan likes to kind of rotate running backs, this could be a tricky one. Who do you think's going to take it at running back? Be the lead.
Yeah, there's a lot of there's a growing amount of people in the 49ers fandom that think it's going to be Trey Sermon, but I don't buy it. I think Raheem Mostert is far and away our best running back, and if he stays healthy, he will be the guy that will get the yards. I love Raheem Mostert. I think he'll easily be the guy. I'll give him 1,000 yards.
All right. Sack leader, who's going to lead the team in sacks?
That one, I think it's definitely going to be Nick Bosa, but I would put a dark horse as Samson Ebukam, a guy we got from the Rams as a free agent. But I definitely think I'll give Nick Bosa around 12 if he stays healthy.
Okay. What did he have his rookie year? Wasn't it like 15 or something?
He was. I think he actually had 12 his rookie year.
Okay.
It wasn't 15. I know that. I think it was 12. So I'm going to give him that again.
Okay. And then interceptions. Who's going to be leading the interceptions?
Ooh, wow. We didn't get many interceptions at all last year, and I think that's going to change greatly this year. Oh, wow, that's kind of a tough one. I'm going to go with a bit of a dark horse here. I don't think he's going to be a starter to start the season, but I think he will take over as a starting quarterback pretty early in the season. Diamador Lenore. I'm going to go him with about 5. I don't think we're going to have a guy that just has a bunch.
Yeah.
We're just going to have a kind of a team effort at that.
Yeah. All right, and then finally, last question. Well, not really questions. I guess just name one breakout star. If you've named one player on the team who's not really a known yet outside of San Francisco, who's going to be that guy that breaks out this year?
That is kind of a tough one. I think Brandon Ayuk is going to be the breakout for it on an NFL sense, but he's probably a little more well-known than you would like for this answer. Wow. That one's honestly pretty tough. I'm gonna go weird on this one. A defensive tackle, DJ Jones.
Ooh, okay.
He's a free agent after the year, and I think he's going to ball out, and we're going to have a tough time re-signing him.
All right, so you heard it here first for all the leaders, and this is the defending picks champion as it is, so I'm sure he's going to be right. So
yeah, by one, right? Did I win by one?
By one with a little grace too, but
yeah, exactly.
All right, so Seahawks side of things. So last week, Seahawks have been having a really rough preseason, but at the same time, it's been like 5 or 6 starters that have played at all. So up here, Seattle fans on Twitter, they can be rather insufferable. I'm sure you know that with Mariners fans on Facebook.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not really indifferent for Seahawks fans. A lot of people just taking it too seriously, thinking that just things are all wrong. It's like people got to chill out. It's preseason and like 6 or 7 stars have played.
Yep.
We're also not going to be giving away anything of the offense, obviously, especially when no stars have played. So just got to chill. Now this last preseason game, it sounds like last week we were talking about how's it going to play out with like the third preseason game, if it's going to be starters or not. It sounds like the Seahawks going a route of actually playing starters this week. I have heard Russell is going to play. There's going to be more starters playing this week, kind of in a way, to get them ready for week 1 to start. So I guess that's how they're going to go about them with this new format. So I don't know if I'll watch. I only watched the first half last week because it was a blowout and there was no point in watching the rest of it. So I'll probably watch at least the first half again, see what the starters can do, how they're looking, and just hope that there's no injuries because last week there were some injuries. John Ursua, he was a fringe guy battling for a spot, but I believe he tore his ACL, I think. And then Ben Burkervin, a guy who came from UW, loved him, tackling machine. I think he tore his Achilles, I want to say. I'm not too sure about that, but so both of them are out for the season. Yeah, so both.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that was a tough one. I was looking for BBK to have a huge year this year, so that was a tough one to see. Speaking of defense, Nick Bellore, our fullback. We're apparently playing Nick Bellore at linebacker now, while playing him at fullback. So that's interesting. If we're feeling kind of thin at linebacker, I don't know. Maybe just sign some guy named KJ Wright. Maybe that could be an idea. But I don't know what's going on there. There's part of me that still feels like KJ's going to come back. I've been reading some things and getting more confident in that, but I gotta see it happen. So I won't believe it till I see it. But we definitely could use it.
I can't imagine though that he would cost that much at this point, getting it as late as it is. There's no competition.
I mean, it might be up to him though, because he is coming off a career year. He did have a career year last year. He might be up there in age, sure, but he had probably his best year last year. So sure. I can understand it. And then, at this point, John Schneider, at this point in, at the end of the preseason before the season starts, he likes to wheel and deal a little bit. So, going to hold out and see over this next week or two if any trade happens. I know there has been a rumor. I don't know how much, there is behind this rumor. There's been a rumor that Seahawks could possibly look at getting a third receiver if they're not too confident with Eskridge's health or whatnot, and looking at Sterling Shepard from the Giants. I think Shepard's pretty decent. I think he'd make a pretty good third. I don't know how much he'd have to give up. But again, I don't know how much is behind that rumor. But we'll see, because John Schneider does like to make some deals right before the season starts. So we'll see what happens there. But otherwise, just excited for preseason to finally be over and just finally start seeing the real guys and real stars playing and just get it going. So finally see what the offense is actually going to look like.
I think Bert Scott said it best.
Can't wait. All right, so I'll answer the same questions I asked you. So the leading receiver for the Seahawks, going totally bold here, going to shock everyone, DK Metcalf. I don't think it's even close. He had, 1,300 some last year. I think he might come down a little bit from that. I think he'll have more touchdowns this year. Tyler's still great, but I mean, he is starting to get up there in age a little bit. I know he's dealing with some more injuries, so I think Tyler takes a little bit of a step back as well. And outside of that, I think Eskridge will be all right. And outside of that, not too sure who's going to step up outside of those guys, but still, Russell, anyone can step up with Russell. Russell's one of those guys that make receivers better, I feel like. Rushing, I mean, Chris Carson, obviously, he's the workhorse. It's going to be Chris Carson, leading rusher. He should get back to over 1,000 this year. I think he even reaches 1,200 this year at least. So,
nice.
Sacks. This was a tough one for me because I do think there's going to be a lot of sacks to go around. You got Dunlap, you got Kerry Hyder who could get some sacks. Another former Niner, of course.
Forgot about him. I miss him.
And then you got Darryl Taylor's coming out, LJ Collier, Jordan Brooks, I think, gets some. But you know what? I'm just going to stick with the guy who led it last year. I'm going to go with Jamal. I think Jamal breaks his own single-season record, and actually I think he's right there, too, in the record for most sacks by defensive back in general throughout history already, so he'll break that this year. I think he gets 11 or 12, because he got 9.5 last year, and he missed 4 or 5 games. So this year he stays healthy. I think he can get to at least 12. So yeah, sacks will be Jamal. And then interceptions. I'm going very, very bold here. I think he's taking it personal, and I'm gonna say Jamal Adams. I'm gonna say Jamal Adams leads both in sacks and interceptions. Again, he stays healthy. He's not as bad in coverage as people think. He can cover. It's just a matter of actually catching the ball. And I think everything he's been hearing about him in coverage and everything, I think it's going to motivate him some to prove some people wrong. So I think he can get some interceptions this year and lead the team in interceptions. Again,
so you're looking for him to go about 0 to 100 on interceptions this year, is what you're saying?
Pretty much, yeah. It's kind of similar to what you said with the Niners. I think it's going to be more of a collective team effort with interceptions rather than one person having a lot. So, because they got ball hawks all over the defense really. So,
Yep.
All right, and then my breakout star. This was a hard one for me as well because I want to say Jordan Brooks, but it's kind of like Brandon Ayuk. He kind of was on the scene last year, Jordan Brooks, but he's going to have a massive year this year. But going as far as like someone who's didn't really play much or isn't really well known yet, I'm going Darryl Taylor. This guy has been having a great camp, great preseason. He's playing that kind of like hybrid linebacker / edge rusher role that similar to what Bruce Irvin played when he was here, except I think Taylor is more explosive and is going to be able to make more plays. So I think Taylor's going to be the breakout star. I think he has at least 7 or 8 sacks as well, and maybe a couple interceptions as well, playing at that hybrid spot. So
not bad.
Yep, so there we go. Can't wait for the season to get started so we can actually talk about stuff that matters.
Agreed.
All right, so now we'll get to our predictions. So we have the NFC and AFC West to do, and then we're also going to dive in and just do the playoffs. So we'll start with the AFC West. So Marcus, just run us through real quick. Who you got in the AFC West?
Sure. Fourth, I have Denver Broncos at 7-10. Third, I have Oakland Raiders at 9-8. Second, I also have the Chargers at 9-8, but I have them in second place. I know I've done this like 3 times, the same record. I'm sorry, but first, the Chiefs, the Kansas City Chiefs at 13-4.
Very interesting. Okay, we have the Broncos and Raiders pretty much swapped. I have the Raiders in fourth at 7-10. Then I have the Broncos at 9-8. I think their defense is going to carry them a little bit. So 9-8 for the Broncos. The Chargers, I'm high on the Chargers. I think they're a dark horse this year. Some might scoff at this, but I'm putting them at 12-5. The Chargers.
Nice.
I think they're a dark horse this year. And then of course,
honestly, I wanted to do something like that because I love their quarterback. I like everything about him for the most part, but they were just. You're probably right because there were so many close games that they lost last year that it's bound to flip, and it's gonna click.
Yeah. So
you're probably gonna be more right than me. So I like that pick.
And then of course I got the Chiefs at 14-3. I think they take a little bit of a step back, but not much. So they're still pretty dominant. So 14-3. All right, now for it's the toughest one to ever predict. So. The NFC best or NFC West, because this is going to be the best division in football, without a doubt. So,
agreed.
So what do you got in this crapshoot?
Yeah, this was absolutely ridiculously difficult. There's 4 good teams, 4 really good teams to even great teams, whatever you want to say. Okay, so I'm going last place, 4th place, the Cardinals at 8-9. I know it's a little weird, but I'm not a Cliff Kingsbury liker.
Well noted. Yeah, well noted.
Yeah. Okay, 3rd place. This might surprise you. The LA Rams at 10-7. Right. I went over this many times in my head. It's just tough. I think we're going to beat each other up this entire division, so it's going to look weird. 2nd place, Seattle Seahawks at 11-6. 1st place. Somehow the Niners are going to win it at 11-6. I think we're going to have the same record, you and I. I really do.
Such a homer.
We're going to be bad. I'm not that guy, though. That's the thing.
No,
I don't usually do that. So I don't know what I'm thinking. I don't know why I'm being crazy, but we're going to be battling it out. Well, us 3 with the Rams are going to be battling it out, in my opinion.
Definitely. All right, well, for me, 4th place, I got the Cardinals, but I got them at 10-7. And 4th place. 3rd place, I also have the LA Rams at 3rd place, 11-6. 2nd place, Seahawks at 11-6.
Wow.
Yep. And 1st place, 49ers at 12-5.
I'm in a state of shock.
I figured you would be. It's just if they stay healthy, I think people have forgotten how good the Niners were a couple years ago, and if they stay healthy, it's hard to pick against them, in my opinion, if they stay healthy. All right, so we'll jump in now at the playoffs.
Uh-oh. You there?
Oh, you hear me?
Yeah, I've cut out and I said something about defenses, so we're going to have to roll it back.
Yeah, I'll roll it back to this report. All right.
My bad.
You're good. All right, so now we'll jump into the playoffs. Marcus, if you want to run us through your playoff predictions, just go ahead and give us what you got.
Do you want to do this like seed 7 through 1, or what? Or how are you doing?
Yeah, you can, because I'm going to do that myself. So I have this whole complex system over here. I'm going to see if I can even read it. So.
Yeah, that's kind of how my notes are looking right now, but we'll give it a shot. All right, NFC, 7 seed Rams, 6 seed Falcons, 5th seed Seahawks, 4th seed Dallas, the winner of the NFC East, obviously. Mm-hmm. That's the only reason they're in there. 3rd seed 49ers, 2nd seed Tampa Bay, and the bye goes to Green Bay.
All right.
And then if you want me to do AFC, I'll go ahead and roll into that. I got...
Yeah, sure.
Sure. 7 seed Colts, 6 seed Patriots, 5th seed Baltimore, 4th seed Cleveland, 3rd seed Tennessee, 2 is the Buffalo Bills, and the bye goes to Kansas City Chiefs.
All right. So what are your predictions then through that?
Yeah, this was really tough. I'm just going to go with my the champion NFC and AFC championship picks. Okay. My notes are a jumbled mess here. So I got 49ers versus Tampa Bay in the NFC championship, and then Kansas City versus Buffalo Bills in the AFC championship.
Okay.
And honestly, I did not pick the winners of that, and I don't even know if I want to pick it. I don't think I can yet. I don't think I'm ready.
I don't know if I can let that go. I think
you want me to do it?
I think we need
how
to
about
have.
How about you do yours and you circle back to me after you do
yours?
All
right. So for me, for the NFC, I've got the entire NFC West making the playoffs. I'm just going to put that out there right now. Everyone in the NFC West making the playoffs. 7 seed Cardinals, 6 seed Rams, 5 seed Seahawks, 4 seed Eagles, because I had them one in the East. 3rd seed the Niners, 2nd seed the Packers, and then the 1st seed the Buccaneers. And then on the AFC side, I got the Steelers at the 7th seed, Patriots, unfortunately, at the 6th seed, Chargers as the 5th, Titans as the 4th, the Browns as the 3rd, Chiefs at 2nd, and then Bills getting the bye at number 1. So I'll run through real quick my predictions then. So the wild card round in the NFC side, I'd have the I got to read this too because I'll jumble up myself.
Yep.
Yeah, I got the Packers beating the Cardinals in the wild card, and then the Seahawks beating the Eagles, and then the 49ers beating the Rams. That would be quite a playoff matchup.
That'd be nice.
And then I've got the Buccaneers beating the Seahawks, and then the Packers beating the 49ers. Sorry.
Yep.
And then I'd have the Packers beating the Buccaneers, getting some revenge to go to the Super Bowl and represent the NFC. Now, on the AFC side, I have the Chiefs beating the Steelers. I have the Chargers beating the Titans. Like I said, I'm high on the Chargers. And then I have the Browns beating the Patriots in the playoffs. What a phrase to say. And then after that, I've got the Bills taking down the Chargers. And then I have the Browns. The Browns taking down the Chiefs to set up a Bills-Browns AFC championship.
Wow.
Call me bold, but I think it's going to happen. And then I've got the Bills taking down the Browns and getting back to the Super Bowl, where they will take on the Packers. And unfortunately, the Packers will not have as sweet an ending for their last dance as Michael Jordan did, because I have the Buffalo Bills beating the Packers in the Super Bowl with Josh Allen as the Super Bowl MVP.
Okay, well, that's not too bad. That's better than the Packers winning it, that's for sure.
Yes.
So, all right, if you're making me pick here, then I got 49ers Tampa versus, and then KC and the Buffalo Bills. So I'm going to go Bills on the AFC. And I'm going to be real stupid and go 49ers on the NFC, but I'm going to go Bills win it all.
All right. So you're going to put yourself through 3 Super Bowl losses within the last 10 years.
Well, I still want and think maybe they could do it, but I'm not going to pick them. I'm just not going to do it.
All right.
Can't be that bold.
All right. Well, there you have it. There's our playoff prediction. So we'll have to come back later on and see how we did. I'm sure we'll be totally wrong.
Yep.
All right, so then wrap it up here before we go. We got the top 5, of course. So this time, our last one we're looking at is top 5 defenses. So Marcus, go ahead and run us down real quick through your top 5 defenses.
All right. This was pretty tough, as usual, but a couple honorable mentions. I'm going to throw the Browns in there with their pass rush, and also Chicago Bears as an honorable mention. So, number 5, I have a tie. I'm sorry, Rams and Seahawks tie.
Ooh, wow.
I love your defense. It's very deep. The defensive line is ridiculously deep. You're going to have a lot of pass rush. The secondary is good. I love that Jordan Brooks. You still got Bobby Wagner. I don't see any reason why you wouldn't be top 5.
You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. The Rams are they're top heavy, but they're, just a couple of guys that they have in their defense are so elite that makes their defense good. I thought about just putting them in honorable mention, but we'll go 5.
All right.
So, 4th, I have the Washington football team. I love their young defensive line, so I'm putting them there.
Yep.
3rd, the San Francisco 49ers, and a quick explanation, they were 7th in total yards last year, given up, and they had nobody on defense healthy. So I really think they'll be back to where they were.
Him anymore, but
yeah, that's true. That is true. That's a big loss, but I think we'll overcome.
All right.
2nd, Tampa Bay, and 1, Pittsburgh Steelers.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, I guess you got revenge on me for the Raheem Mostert thing because you totally stole my thunder. I don't even have the Seahawks on as an honorable mention, so I am really shocked that you did that.
Yeah.
I don't disagree. I thought I'd be stupid and sound like a homer if I put the Seahawks even as an honorable mention. So you got back at me. Good job.
There we go.
So my honorable mentions are the Broncos. I think they have a sneaky good defense, and then the 49ers as an honorable mention as well. I do think they. It's hard to say take a step back or take a step forward because of what last year was. I'm looking at 2019. I think because 2019 was the actual defense that we should see again this year. So I think they take a little bit of a step back from that, but they'll still be right there. Number 5, I've got the Colts at number 5. I think they have a very underrated defense. Number 4, the Ravens. Number 3, still got the Rams there in the top 3. Even if they lost a couple guys, you still have Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey. So. Number 2, Washington football team at number 2. Like I said, I love their defensive line as well. If you have a defensive line like theirs, you don't really need much anywhere else because it's going to be so disruptive.
Yep.
And then number 1, I don't even remember if you had them on the list, so I'm about to ask you about this. Number 1, I got the Buccaneers.
Yeah, they were number 2 for me.
Oh, number 2. Okay, I guess
I said Tampa. Sorry,
Tampa.
I said
Okay,
Buccaneers.
yeah.
There you go.
Tomato, I guess.
There you go.
So yeah, number 1, I got the Buccaneers. I think they'll just. It's stupid. They're just running it back all around, offense, defense. So whatever, good for them. So,
yeah, it is what it is.
But yeah, so thanks for stealing my thunder with the Seahawks. I do think they could be up there. I just wasn't going to put them as an honorable mention or anything. So yeah.
Yeah, and this was pretty tough because I didn't know if I just did kind of a combination of total yards, dynamicness, turnovers, sacks, just kind of everything jumbled together. I didn't know how to rate them. Picking
defenses too is it's kind of a crapshoot too because it's kind of like bullpens in baseball. They can change from year to year. So
for sure.
All right, well, that pretty much wraps it up. So real quick before we go, just kind of give a quick rundown because we're running a little longer than usual right now, I guess. But I'll just give a quick rundown of what you can expect for this season. It's going to be a little bit different from last year. So, of course, first and foremost, what everyone wants and cares about the most, because nobody cares about us, Pooch Picks is going to be back. We'll be running it all season long this year. So you'll see Henry making his picks again, and you'll see DOG making his picks again as well. What it's going to be is we're just going to do the Sunday night football matchup. So it'll just be one per week for the Pooches, just picking the Sunday night matchup, the primetime matchup. Except when our teams play each other, when the Seahawks and Niners, we'll throw that in as well. So we'll see if Henry's a Seahawks fan.
Got it.
For the picks this year, we're just sticking with 4 throughout. I mean, okay, granted, here and there, if there's something, we might add an extra one. But what it's going to be this year is we'll stick with 1 lock, 1 upset, and then we're going to have 1 random matchup that while we're recording, we're going to pick for the other person. So me and Marcus, we're not going to know what that other random matchup is until we're told it, and we'll have to pick it right there on the spot.
Wow.
Yep.
You're just adding
a little spice.
Quality content all the time. This channel is just on the way up.
And then, of course, we'll have the Seattle-San Francisco game. You'll pick the San Francisco game. I'll pick the Seattle game. So, yeah. And then we'll keep doing our top 5, except during the season, the top 5 is going to be our power rankings. So we'll give our top 5 teams as it goes along. So that's what you can expect this year for Rival Talk. In my opinion, it's going to be way better than it was last year. So, yeah.
I know I've grown and learned since last year, so I'll be better.
Well, I hope you're not better because you won it last year, so I need you to be a little worse. So you can be okay this year.
Fine. Well, we'll see about that.
So me and Diogi have some revenge to dish out this year.
Like I said, Henry has a lot to say about that, but he's not near me, so I can't ask him. But I'm sure he's upset about you saying that.
I'm sure he's very, very distraught. All right. Well, thanks for joining me today, and it's finally here. Next time we're together, we'll be kicking off the season. So
I literally cannot wait. It's not even a joke.
Me neither. It's about time, and
yep.
Hopefully things go smoothly this year.
Yeah, agreed.
All right. Well, thanks for joining me, and next time we'll talk before kickoff for the season.
Always a pleasure. Talk to you next time.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
All right. So there we go. That wraps it up pretty much for the preseason. So we're looking ahead, getting ready for kickoff now. 2021 season. It's just about here. It's another week or so to go. So can't wait for the season. Should be another good one. Looking forward to it. So as always, remember I have the giveaway still going on. Amazon gift card, $50 for 50 subscribers. So be sure to share the channel, share the video, give me a shout out and all that, and be subscribed as well. So, yep. With that, be sure to like and share the video. Hit that subscribe button. Follow me on Twitter, and go Hawks!